Morning, everyone. This is Nithya Chandler from the NR Hour Sports Show. This is episode 908. I'm joined by a really special guest, my friend Sabrina Chandler from the gym, from school, from Jersey. She used to be a tennis player. Now she's a lacrosse player at Georgian Court University. By the way, that's a great college to go to in New Jersey if you want to go academics or sports-wise. Great college. Now, obviously, she's a Seths coach. We go to this gym called Seths. She's like a intern there now, and it's amazing what she's doing. She's really inspiring, strong young woman out there. So go follow her on all social media formats. Right now, we're live on Spreaker, Spotify, everywhere, iHeartRadio. If you want to find any podcast, go check us out here, the NR Hour. But Sabrina Chandler, thanks for joining the show. How are you and your family doing today?
Thanks for having me. We're good. I'm just been home. My dad and I actually went to a car show this morning, so I've had a beautiful Sunday already. And it's just a beautiful day, and I'm happy to be here. So,
I want to start off with your childhood growing up, and when did you get interested in joining sports, playing sports, and did you have any like role models that you looked up to?
Definitely my dad and my sister. We've always just been a sports family, I guess, and I remember my dad taking me to the Memorial tennis courts, the high school, when I was 5 or 6, and we would just go out there, my dad, my sister, and I, and we would just hit tennis balls, and that's how I learned how to play. He was my coach my entire life. He helped me choose what sports I was good at. Like I tried soccer, and that he was like, I don't think this is for you. I'm like, I don't think so either. So that's when I got into lacrosse as well. I was in 3rd grade, and I just fell in love with both those sports, and I was good at it. So I just stuck with it. But yeah, sports has just always been a part of my family. My dad was a big hockey player and tennis player. He was about to go semi-pro for hockey. He was a hockey goalie. So, and then he had us. So, but yeah, he's definitely the biggest influence in my life about sports.
Yeah, so speaking of having that family always important, and especially being an athlete, the biggest support system you can have. And what was it like throughout your childhood to have your father behind your back and helping you out in the sports in the sports area? And for him, obviously, you just said for him playing sports too, and obviously your sister. So what was it like just having him helping you out become that player you are right now?
It's 100%. He made me the person I am today, like good and bad. Like there's definitely been times where his advice, I was like, we would dicker back and forth, but that's honestly what made me stronger. And when I was down, he always found ways to support me and lift me up, and he always just knew what to say, especially in tennis. Like he was very smart with tennis, so he would tell me to calm down. And tennis is a very individualized sport in general, so it's all on you. Like in lacrosse, it's a team sport, so you have support all around you on the field, but when it's just you on the court, you got to figure out what's going on, and you have to remain calm and and within yourself, like be able to find what's missing, I guess, you know what I mean? So like he made me realize like that it's inside me. So he just always told me to stay calm, just breathe is always our thing, just breathe. So he's definitely changed my life.
Did he ever tell you like some of his memories or stories as a player while you were growing up, or when you were?
More of hockey. He did tennis because it was fun. I think one of his like old ex-girlfriends when he was a young kid like got him into tennis, and he just fell in love with it and like loved the way that the sport was. But he never really did anything as far as like leagues or stuff like that. It was just kind of on his own. But hockey, he was I remember going, I was very, very young, but I remember going to like some tournaments for his, like in Tom's River. Like he's always been a part of hockey, and he like me, he calls me mini me. I has a temper. So I remember like him, like if he let a shot in, like, or the puck go in, he would like slam his stick, and I'm like, oh my God, like it was just a totally different vision of my dad. But he's definitely different with us. He's there's Ron, my dad, and then there's my dad.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
For you, I want to ask you before I ask you how you got into the tennis career, I want to ask you how in this generation, obviously, this is what we love to ask other athletes that we have on the show or other people. How important is it to play multiple sports in the beginning of your career before you choose the one sport you want to play? And because I think in this generation now, with younger kids playing a lot of sports, I think it's really important for them to learn different aspects of different sports, because whenever you decide what sport you want to play, you already have the background, the aspect, and plus, I think one sport will help you become that better player in whatever sport you choose. So how important is that for a multi-athlete talent like you or some other players like that?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I think you need to be able to dip your toes kind of in everything to figure out what really is good for you. And like in high school, I did a year of basketball, like just because it was in the winter, and I already had a fall and a spring sport, so I did it because it's a way to like broaden your perspective of new sports, and it 100% helped me as far as in my other two sports, like because basketball is so much footwork and like short sprints, like like there's just so many different, like you said, aspects in sports that can really trickle down to what you choose to do. So I think that, and just broadening or narrowing yourself down to only one thing, I think doesn't allow you to see what else is out there, like choosing one path, I feel like is not as, it doesn't give you as many opportunities as choosing multiple paths, because then you're able to learn and experience and even just make new friends. Like you're able to discover so many new things with different sports. So
so tell our fans how you got into tennis, and how do you watch tennis, or what was your process like?
So in tennis, it was like I said, my dad just took my sister and I out on the courts, and that's just how I learned. And then I started going to different clubs. So I started at the Atlantic Club in Manasquan, and I had a bunch of different coaches there. I probably played tennis there like 3 or 4 times a week. And it would be like 2-hour sessions. There was like round robins on Fridays, which was like a fun little just tournament game with like different players. So I started there, and then in high school I moved on to it's a Little Silver Club, and that was just more. I actually followed one of the coaches there, Coach Yari. He moved to the Little Silver. He started his own program, and I loved him in his coaching. So I moved with him to Little Silver, and I would go there as well, like 4 times a week. That was some intense training. Like his coaching techniques were harsh, but that's why I liked it, because he pushed me and he taught me really new ways to like learn my game. And yeah, so I loved that. And then I also met another coach at Little Silver, Coach Mateo, and he moved to East Brunswick. So then I went to East Brunswick for a little while, and that was a really great club. He was by far one of my favorite, besides my dad, obviously, but he was by far one of my favorite coaches. He got to me in ways that, like, if someone was trying to teach me something and I couldn't understand it, like he knew how to like change his wording, so it was able to like really grasp it. So I loved his coaching tactics. And then I was in high school, so I was on the varsity team for 4 years there. Coach Updike, I don't know if you remember, Coach Updike. Yeah, he's a great guy. We still talk, my sister and I, he loves our whole family, so we still talk to him every now and then. So I played 4 years there, and I think I was third singles my freshman year, and then my senior year I ended up being second singles, and then I was singles all 4 years, but we had an Ocean County tournament that we would go to every year, so I won that. I was the champion for that. Congrats 4 years in a row. Thank you. Yeah, and then I honestly, when I got to college, I just knew I wanted to play a sport in college. Whatever opportunity was presented to me, I was going to take it. So I did have some opportunities to play both tennis and lacrosse, or just tennis. Right. And then it just came down to Georgian Court, and they don't have a tennis program there, unfortunately. So that's when I chose lacrosse. But yeah,
that's crazy. So obviously all sports are tough to learn, and obviously, but tennis is it to be honest, for me, I think tennis, you need to train every day, and you need to have a certain routine to keep that same momentum going, I should
Yes.
say. And for you, did you watch any like female tennis players, or who did you try to mold your game around towards?
I always have watched tennis. I honestly, I've never really chosen just one particular player, just because there's things that I love and don't love about all of them. So, but I definitely, Roger Federer is one of my favorite players. I just love how composed he is, and the way his one-handed backhand, that's what he's known for, the in between the legs, like his shot, like he's just a legendary player. Maria Sharapova was also one that I grew up with that was also a really good one. Serena Williams obviously is the legend. I wouldn't say she's my favorite player, but she's a beast, obviously. Andy Murray from Great Britain, he was a great one as well. But yeah, I watch tennis all the time. Literally downstairs, it's the tennis channel. I think it's 216 or something like that. It's constantly on. Like it's either the tennis channel or The Office, honestly. Like just goes back and forth. Yeah. The US Open just passed. And she's a young girl. I can't remember. I just followed her on Twitter, but I can't remember her name. She just won. And I loved.
Is it the Korean lady or Korean?
No, she was from Great Britain.
Oh, Great Britain.
Yes, I can't remember her name. She's brand new. I think she's 18 or 19, like so young.
I had to look that up. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and she won the US Open just the past few weeks, like a few weeks ago, and she was like, I was captured by her. Like she's so young, so like just watching her right now and like the way she like plays and she composed herself, like she's just such a smart player, and like I can really see her like being an outstanding tennis player, like one for the books. So I
gotta look that up. Yeah, that's really inspiring. 18, 19 years old. That's amazing.
Yep.
That's amazing. They're able to win at the age at US Open. It's cool. It's really cool to see, and that should inspire other kids that are growing up like that. But did you ever think to yourself, maybe one day you can compete in the US Open?
I mean, I could dream. I went to the US Open once. I mean, we watch it every year, but I actually went there with my sister and my dad. I think it was 2011. So I was 11 years old, and it was amazing. Like the size of the stadiums, like the people, the courts, like it was unreal. But I mean, yeah, for sure, I would love to be on the court, but watching them like their serves go like 160 miles an hour, I'm like, oh my God, like I have a lot to work to do to get there. Like it's definitely motivation, but I would have loved to one day be on the courts.
I have a connection. I'll put you in contact with, Katrina Adams. She used to be a big time tennis player back in the day. She competed in the US Open. We had her on the show
yes.
We had her on the show last month, and she's really amazing. Now she's like ambassador for the US Open and and she's like the manager for tennis now. And I'll put you in contact with her if you want to connect with her.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Yeah, absolutely.
Her name is Katrina Adams. So
awesome.
Yeah. So yeah, I want to get to your college recruitment process. Obviously, lacrosse player, but obviously some players like to go into college to play multiple sports at the same time. But for you, obviously Georgian Court didn't have like a tennis program. But how many other offers did you get? And did you ever think to yourself, maybe you can go in as a multi-sport athlete, or did you have one sport and focus in mind when you were choosing the colleges?
I definitely was open to both. I was open to both, and I was open to one. Like I said, it's kind of whatever was presented to me. But I was looking at one of my top schools was Monmouth. I was going to do tennis there.
Yeah.
And then at Stockton University, I was going to do both. He offered me both tennis and lacrosse. And then my coach has a connection with Coastal Carolina in South Carolina, and I was going to do lacrosse there. So it's a pretty big lacrosse school. And then I was looking at like Chestnut Hill, like for lacrosse, like and tennis actually as well. Yeah, but I just knew that I wanted to stay close to home. I didn't want to go too far. So that's why I kind of crossed Coastal off my list. And then I was really choosing between Monmouth and Georgian Court. And then honestly, it was just scholarship wise, Georgian Court was a better option for me. But yeah, it was definitely hard for me to give up tennis just because that was like my main sport that like I worked so hard for like my entire life. But I loved lacrosse. Like it was just such, especially after like a hard tennis season, like I said, it's all on you. Like it's so fun to go into a lacrosse season where it's like,
Yeah.
I have all my teammates and like, you know, we can cheer and yell and scream. Like it's so fun. So I love lacrosse. So I was very, very excited to go there. Plus my sister went there as well. So it was kind of like, I already knew the campus. I knew the people, like I was very comfortable and like kind of felt like already at home there. So.
Yeah. So I'm not, I'm just curious. I'm not knocking Georgian Court University, but I want to ask you, you know what, do you know the reason why they don't have a tennis program in that college?
Yeah, well, they did. My sister went there for both tennis and
Okay.
lacrosse.
Okay.
She went in 2013. And then the year that she went there in 2013 was the first year they became co-ed because
Yeah.
they were an all-female school prior to that. So I think it was the following year in 2014 when the athletic director decided to cut the program because they said it was a lack of interest. And I think it was just they needed more for male sports
Okay. Oh
or
wow.
men's sports. Yeah. So unfortunately, they cut tennis program, which we were devastated about. My dad and I were so mad, and my sister as well, but we were just mad for her. Like it was just an opportunity that she was given and it got taken away. So,
Wow.
but yeah, I wish it was there. The courts are still there, but we just use them more for conditioning now, which I hate.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So before we get to your Georgian Court career, tell our fans what was the process like for you getting into lacrosse? That's another tough sport. I love watching lacrosse sometimes, and the way you guys compete, play. So for you, how did you get into lacrosse, and what was that process like, and the training routine for you?
Yeah, well, I started out with just the Jackson Rec program. My sister joined it when we're 5 years apart. She was in 8th grade, so I was in 3rd grade. I joined it at the same time as her, and I just immediately was good at it, and I loved it. And my dad actually volunteered coached for it as well, which was awesome because he and I, like, there would be like, oh, go get water breaks, and he and I would just go to the net and he would feed me balls and I would shoot. Like I just never wanted to stop playing. So yeah, I did that all the way to 8th grade, and then in high school came it was very different from lacrosse for me. Like it was very natural for me. So like tennis, I worked like I said, like 4 times a week on tennis. But lacrosse, it was just like I would pick up my stick and I would just go. Like I have like a net and a rebounder in my backyard, and like I would practice myself there. And like my dad, my sister and I, we'd pass around and stuff like that. But like it's not, I was not as intense with it as tennis.
Wow.
So when I got to high school, we were all trying out for the team, and Coach Diana Stritsky, who I'm very, very close with still. I actually babysit her kids.
Oh wow.
She just pulled me and this a couple other girls and was like, I see it in you. Like she just knew. So I was on varsity since freshman year, which for lacrosse was a big deal. Like it was very like, oh my God, you made varsity as a freshman. Yeah. And then from then on, she definitely helped me also like step back from the field, because when I was in rec, it was more just like technique, I would say. Like we played games and stuff, but it was just like working on like just improving the little things. But then when I got to high school and Coach Strisky, she helped me like take a step back and be like, look at the field and like see, like watch people watch you. Like she just made me like realize a whole different part of the game, and I fell in love with it even more. And yeah, she was very supportive, and made me grow a lot in lacrosse.
Hey, Sabrina, you're a talented player. I see you being mentioned on top players of the week or some days.
Yeah.
You're on the Instagram stories, jumping. I see you. It's really amazing.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. But I want to ask you earlier. I said the family is a really important support system, but not only family, but your coaches. So for you,
Mm-hmm.
what's it like to have coaches from day one to have your back, especially high school coaches and even college coaches too, but the coaches that you had to start your career. So from those coaches from day one to have your back, how important is that for you as an athlete?
It's crucial because a coach to me can make me hate the sport.
Yeah.
Like it can make me not want to be there. It can just put a whole damper on my attitude. And having a coach like know your personnel and like know what to say to you when need be, just like my dad, like with me, like he knew, like that can really affect the way you play, and like I said, your attitude. And just having their support really just helps you like become a better player, and also just a better person in general. Like there's so many lessons that they teach you and that apply to so much like stuff outside of sports. So it's definitely important to have a good coach.
Yeah. So I want to talk about the Georgian Court University atmosphere. Tell our fans what's it like playing for that college, and the atmosphere like, and playing in front of fans. Obviously, last year you guys, I don't know how it went, but with COVID situation, there was no fans. But for you, what was the first year you got there? What was it like playing in front of fans and the atmosphere like?
Yeah, I mean, we are like the top tier, like top team at our school. We've won the CACC championship the past, I think this was last year was 4 years in a row. And prior to that, my sister's senior year was the first year they won. So prior to that, it was like a big deal. Like it was something huge. And now it's like, no one's taking this away from us. So like, we're known to be like the best team on campus. So it really just like makes the whole atmosphere like that much better, because our fans are like constantly like just supporting us. We have tailgates, they have flags like up, they have like, they just go all out for us. And it really makes it, honestly, it makes me more relaxed, because I know that I have so many people like out there for me. So it just makes the game overall so much more fun. And like in practice, when like it gets hard and like, you know, there's times where you just like, wow, like why am I doing this? Like you want to give up, you're so sore, like you're just so tired, and you're like, your fans just make you remember like this is why. And like my family and my friends and the whole entire school, honestly, like this is why I'm doing it. Like that's my why. So it's a really fun atmosphere, especially with our girls. We have a great team. We have an amazing chemistry as well, which is probably what makes us 10 times better. So
yeah. So, and also, what's it like for you to follow in your sister's footsteps, wearing the same uniform as your sister, and basically growing up together, but just wearing the same uniform, going to the same college, and taking that legacy with your sister too.
Yeah, when I first came in, it was honestly a little nerve-wracking, just because my sister and I are very different athletes, I would say. So I didn't want my image to be just that I'm Kayana's little sister. Yeah. So I wanted to make a name for myself, and I wanted people to know like I'm a good athlete. I'm not just Kayana's little sister. So, and I think I did that as soon as I came in freshman year. In the fall, we're a spring sport, but in the fall, we do tournaments and stuff like that. So we had tournaments, and I was a starter for the tournament, and I just came in, and one player, Sam Fernandez, who was a legend, she graduated, she was a senior when I was a freshman. So she graduated in 2019, and she broke the record for like most goals in our school. Like she's crazy good. But like I was being, I wouldn't say compared, but paired with her. We were very similar players, and same positioning and stuff like that. So I definitely was proud of the way I made an impression my freshman year. But yeah, just following in my sister's footsteps, it honestly, it makes it easier, but it makes it harder at the same time, because I'm known, but I'm known for not me. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? So I have to make my own name, which I've done my whole life and I love doing, because I usually surprise people. So it's fun though. It's fun.
Are you the type of player that do you care if someone compares you to someone else, or you don't care?
I'll take it as a compliment. But as far as, because I've had a coach that wanted me to, literally said to me, be Sam.
Yeah.
And to me, I'm like, I understand where I should grasp, like, she's an amazing and smart player. So like I'm honored to be able to learn from her and, be guided, but I'm also my own player. Mm-hmm. So like, I don't want to be just narrowed down to only one player, because there's things that I can do that another player can't. So I don't want to be just subjected to one person. You know what I mean? Yeah.
So what I want to ask you, so for you and your team, what have you learned from the past year with COVID? Obviously, with everything got shut down, nothing, we don't know what was going to go on, and with the sports being shut down. And for you, for yourself and your teammates, and what have you guys learned from the last year till now? Obviously, you guys are practicing in the fall, doing tournaments now, but when it comes to spring, when your season comes back, what's it going to be like just to see fans back in the stadiums, back again, hopefully? And but what have you learned? What have you guys learned from the past year till now?
Yeah, I mean, I remember vividly when we were told that we were shut down for the season. We were distraught, and in ways it brought us so much closer together, because we were going through this big tragedy. And the following year, when we got to come back, like every single day, we just had so much energy, like we were unstoppable, because we just knew like we couldn't take it for granted. Like each day could be the last one, and we just don't want to happen. We don't want to repeat the past, basically. And we were just so lucky, and we were very, very careful as far as like COVID protocols and everything. Like we made lacrosse our priority. Like we went to lacrosse and back to our room. Like we didn't do anything. So honestly, it was very eye-opening, and just like made me realize how much I actually love the sport, like even more so. And last year with fans, we were allowed, because we were an outdoor sport. So at the time we were allowed to have fans, but we were limited to only 2 people per fans. Like we had to sign them in, like stuff like that. So it wasn't totally like, cut off, dead silent, but it definitely was. Like I said, our fans like give us so much drive and motivation. So it definitely was like a bit of a bummer, like not being able to have as many people as we wanted. But this year we're like full force go. So I am so excited, because I know it's just going to be, I haven't had like a normal season since freshman year. So it's going to be, amazing.
Well, I'm looking forward to it too when spring hits for you guys again, and once you start your season. And but what's it been like for you guys in the fall with just doing tournaments, competing like that way? And I think if you guys do like tournaments like that, I feel like you guys can, that makes you even more better if you guys do tournaments now to get ready for the spring.
Absolutely. And that's what we always say that, because we are only allowed to practice 5 days a week in the fall because of NCAA rules. So when we're out there, we just say like, this is the time to get better now. Like we want to work hard now so we can just fly like high in the spring. So we have a scrimmage coming up against Kutztown. I want to say mid-October, and then we have a tournament at New Haven as well in October. And I'm very excited for the performance, but it definitely allows us to like pick the details apart and go through everything that we need to work on and really like individualize what each player needs to like be better for the spring. So this is my favorite time of the year because it's so much fun.
Yeah. So for you, as a player so far in your career, what's it like to be able to?
Oh,
Oh, can you hear me?
oh, you're cutting in and out. I
All right.
don't know if you can hear. Can you hear me and see
Yeah,
me?
I can hear you.
Sorry.
Yeah, can you hear me? Sorry. Can you hear me?
Okay. Yes. Now I think you're good now. Yeah, you're good. Sorry.
Yeah, this is all right. So I want to ask you, so far in your career as an athlete, a lacrosse player, and obviously former tennis player, what's it like to win championships already? In high school, you won a championship, obviously, and in college, you won a couple of championships, and you have a couple of awards under your belt too. So explain to our fans about those awards and obviously being a championship player now already.
Yeah, I mean, being a champion is just it just makes all your hard work feel paid off for. But honestly, it makes just to me at least, it just makes me realize like who got me there. Like I'm like when I won the championship for Ocean County tournament in tennis, the first person I looked to is my dad. Like I just look like we point to each other. Like it's a touching moment because you realize like everything you've done is to get to this moment.
Right.
And especially in lacrosse, like it's just you're like when the buzzer goes off, we just run to each other and dog pile on top of each other, like because it's just like literally blood, sweat, and tears that we've gone through, and this is what we wanted, and it just makes it all worth it. So it's an amazing feeling. Yeah, but awards, honestly, awards to me they're amazing. There's I don't want to sound braggy, but there have been a lot that I've received like in high school. So it's something that like I don't know, it just makes me feel like wow, like I said, like everything is for a reason. Like, you know, I don't even know where to be. I received a tennis athlete of the month. I think that was my first award. Tennis athlete of the year as well, and then I got lacrosse athlete of the year for 2 years in a row, and then I was received the Don Connor Award in high school.
Yeah.
As well as I was also featured on News 12 for like athlete of the week or something like that. They came in with like cameras like during practice and like interviewed me. It was just I think it was WBM senior of the month or something like that. It's just basically for both scholars and academics and athletics. So yeah, my senior year of high school was so much fun because I just got all this praise and I was like, oh my God, people notice me. And then in college, this year is kind of the first year that I've kind of taken off, especially for lacrosse, like just as far as on the field and like stats wise. So the CACC definitely recognized me this year, and I was awarded like player of the week a couple times, as well as like honor roll just for that's for like grades and stuff like that. And then there's at the end they gave out awards for like first team and second team, and that's just for the whole conference, not just like for your school. So it's like they choose those types of schools. So I was picked for first team, as well as many of my other players. My goalie got goalie of the year. Like we just got so much hardware, and it was just, like I said, it's the best feeling because you're like, I did this for a reason. Like this is what, you know, it pays off. So it's a great feeling.
All right, tell us after winning the lacrosse championship, what was the after party like?
Yeah. Well, unfortunately, my freshman year men's lacrosse also won the tournament. So that was amazing because we're very close, men's and women's lacrosse. So it was amazing. This year, unfortunately the men's lacrosse didn't win, but we still got together, and it's a great night, honestly, because it's just like season's over, like let's do what we want. You know what I mean? And just celebrating what we've all like been through, and just, you know, we bond over the suffering.
All right, so now I want to talk to you about our gym we go to, Seths. So when was the first time you heard about Seths? And obviously, what do you like about it? And tell us about being an intern now there.
Yeah, so it was back in 2018, my freshman year of college. My sister and her best friend were going to Seths in Freehold, and she mentioned it to me, and I was like, yeah, like it was winter break, so I'm like, yeah, I need to get in shape for spring season anyway, so let me try this place out. And I went for I think it was a free week trial at the time. So I went for that week, and it was Coach Mike V, and he has great energy. So I was brought into like the best atmosphere ever. And I was like, I love this place. Like, I'm never leaving. It's just the music, the people, like the way the workouts were designed. Like, I thought it was so smart. Because I've done many workouts, and I just think that this place was their strategy and the types of workouts and the creative moves that they came up with. I just thought it was incredible. So yeah, I started going every day during the winter. And then when I got to season, I froze my account. I came back in the summer and I went hardcore. I would go like twice a day at some points, and I was still in Freehold at the time. And then that's when I met Anthony one day. He just happened to be working out, and I didn't know he was like, this was his place. Like, he was the owner. I had no idea. So he was working out with me, and he's like, I love the way you push yourselves. Like, it's like you go so hard. It's really motivating. And I'm like, really? Thanks. Like, I didn't know it was motivating, but thank you. And he told me to like come to Jackson one time. And I'm like, yeah, like, I just don't go to Jackson because like there's a lot of people that I know there. And like, I wasn't used to working out in front of people that I know. So he was like, who cares? Like, come on down. I was like, okay. So I went to Jackson, and I loved that place. And I just loved, especially when Anthony comes up with the workouts, they're killer. Yeah. So I was like, oh my God, I love this. So yeah, I would switch on and off between Freehold and Jackson, but then I've just been sticking with Jackson now. And Anthony's always talked to me about coaching, like literally since he's met me. And I'm like, okay, like, yeah, like I love fitness. Like, I would definitely want to try it out. I've coached lacrosse.
Yeah. So this was this was in the works from before then.
Oh yeah, he's always said he wants to get me my personal certification and all that stuff. And I'm like, yeah, like, I love this. This is a passion of mine. So I would love to, especially coming from him. Like, I'll learn anything from him because he's so amazing and smart with it. So yeah, we've always talked about it. And then it was over this summer when he asked me if I needed an internship. And I'm like, yeah, like, I've been looking for one, and this would be perfect because I am a finance major, which is like totally like opposite. Like, you would not expect that, but numbers are my strong suit. So he said, like, we kind of came up with a plan of kind of killing two birds with one stone, being able to, train and coach and learn like different workouts and, personal training tactics and stuff, as well as the business side, because he made this place from the ground up. So he's also teaching me like just basically all of the finances and his business side of the place. And it's really fun so far. I mean, it's only been a few weeks that I'm really liking it.
I seen you go to work already in person, so you're doing a great job there as a coach. And
thank you.
So speaking of that, obviously Seths has a mantra, says Seths family, Seths built. So obviously, what do you like about that sayings they have? And obviously, Coach Mike, Coach Anthony, Coach Joe, which is tough, man. Whoever goes to Seths, try and avoid Coach Joe if you can.
Yeah, especially the first time around.
But you got Coach Lewis now too there. You got Coach Gina on Saturdays, Coach Shannon, Coach Amanda. I can go on down the list. Amazing people, amazing coaches, amazing creativity in for all of them. So for you, and now you included part of the family as a coach. So what do you like about those two sayings that they have? Seths built, Seths family.
Yeah, I mean, it's such a family dynamic there. Like, it's so personable, and that's why I love each coach, because I feel like they know me, and it's
Yeah.
not just I'm at another gym. Like it's a connection, it's a relationship. And I love that when you go there, it's like Planet Fitness, no judgment. It's a judgment-free zone. You know what I mean? Like it's just, we're all there together, and it's such a good dynamic and an environment to work out in, because it motivates you, especially. Oh my gosh, Anthony pushes you, like they all push you so hard, and I just hope I can do that as well. That's my goal, so I'm working on it.
Hey, it's like a nightclub in there.
It is. Oh my god, yeah.
I want to talk to you about like an important topic now. It's called Women in Sports, and I'm a big advocate in women in sports. And we have a team of 8 people helping me out with the show, and 4 of them are females. So I'm giving every opportunity to females to get into the sports industry, to get to where they want to be. And for you, what's it like? What do you like the growth of women in sports, and for yourself, your sister? Obviously, you don't watch football, but Sarah Thomas, first female ref, Sarah Fuller, first female field goal kicker in men's football. And you got like all these, for example, Becky Hammond coaching, assistant coach in the NBA now, other females getting coaching male sports. So what do you like the growth of women in sports?
Yeah, I mean, even just from being little, like I've seen so many women be able to grow and, earn so many opportunities from their hard work. And it's great just being shown like I feel like, like I Serena Williams is a huge example as far as like good. Hello. Oh, I can't hear. Oh, now I hear you.
I don't know what's going on.
Sorry.
I think it's on my end for sure. But sorry,
okay.
say that again. I missed the whole thing.
Oh, the whole thing. I was just saying how and the opportunity.
Oh man, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can
I don't know what is going on here.
hear you. You're good or no?
All right, there we go. I think. All right, let me.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you, but it's frozen.
Yeah, same with you. It's like lagging.
Don't do this to me. Come on, Zoom.
Now it's frozen. Yeah, I think my Wi-Fi. We just got a new Wi-Fi, so it better be good. You're moving well now for me. Oh, kind of.
Your
Like you're
screen
not
is
lagging anymore.
okay. All right, I think that's good. Yeah,
Oh.
can you hear me? Oh,
What?
can you hear me?
Yeah. Wait, it's frozen now.
Oh man, I'm so sorry.
That's okay.
Can you hear me now?
Trust me, I get it. Yeah, I can hear you now.
Why is Zoom doing this to me? Come on, Zoom. All right. Um, okay. Not now. Don't do. All right. Can you hear me now? No.
Yeah, it's just lagging a little, but I think it's good. It like catches up sometimes.
All right. Yeah. So, if you don't mind, can you explain that again to our fans about the woman?
Yeah, I was just saying that, yeah, like women in sports, I really think has grown so much over these years. And just watching and seeing all these women, earn so much of what like their achievements, but through the hard work and passion and dedication. Like it wasn't just given, it was earned. And it's really inspiring just to watch, so many groundbreaking women. Like I said, like Williams, like she's a huge example of, one of the best athletes. And it's not the best female athlete, like the best athlete. And that's just honestly something like it, as an athlete as well, it also motivates you to, see what you're doing is for a reason. And, from personal experience, like there's definitely been, times where society in general like doesn't see you as an athlete. In middle school, I was not seen as an athlete, I'll tell you that. I dressed very girly, I was very fashionable. And then high school came around and I took everyone by surprise. And I think it's just that there's this under of women in sports. And I think that it's finally now, reaching and breaking.
Mhm. Okay. Yeah. So I want to ask you now. Let's see here if I can. Can you hear me now?
Yeah,
All right. This is not. This is. I don't know why this is not.
you're good now.
All right. All right. So I want to ask you, what's next for you? Obviously, you guys got the spring season coming up next year, and no, other than that, what are you most looking forward to in your career, and what's next for you?
Yeah, I mean, this is most likely, unless I do a fifth year, but my final season. So honestly, I'm trying to just go all out. I just, this is going to be the last time I'm ever going to be able to play a sport competitively. So it's something very emotional for me to think about because I've done this my entire life. And, it's in high school, it's different because I had something to look forward to, but now it's really coming to an end. So I'm just really trying to, put all my hard work into this last season and just do it for my team and do it for my family and just, prove to them like, all of this is for coming to an end, but it was a good journey. And after graduation, yeah, well, I'm hoping to coach at Seths.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping to do that for a little while at least, until I figure anything else out. But yeah, I don't know. I'm just trying to slowly figure it out.
Hey, if you want, I want you. You're gonna be a great sets coach, and I want you as a coach because like I already seen you, and you're doing a great job with that, with the warm ups and all, and but
you.
but you gotta for your senior year, you gotta get that championship though.
I know. Oh yeah, that is 100% our goal. And we always have a target on our back, of course, because we're the best. So defending that title is number one priority. And we've always had a goal of making top four for NCAA, like top four teams, because that's who gets to compete in the final tournament. And this past year, we were number four. But because of COVID, they were only taking 3 teams.
Wow.
So that is another one of our goals, is to reach that top four and just make it to an NCAA tournament. I would love to do that before I graduate.
So, what advice would you give to young girls now that are trying to reach their goals and looking up to other women like you?
Yeah, I mean, a huge goal or advice that I would give them is don't be afraid to try anything. Like I said, like narrowing yourself down to one path, you're limiting your opportunities. So go out there, even if you think it's gonna suck, like try it. Like I tried basketball, I was definitely not good, but I did it because like, just to try it. So don't be afraid of just putting yourself out there, because no matter what, you're gonna end up finding something that's right for you. So yeah.
So so we do this fun little segment on the show. It's called the rapid fire segment. You ready for this?
Okay, sure.
Favorite food?
Sushi.
Oh, nice.
Tacos.
Taco Tuesday.
Yeah.
Your favorite memorable moment in high school and college so far?
Memorable moment in high school, my senior year, winning the Ocean County tournament, looking at my dad. I started crying right then and there. In college, I would say the first game back after COVID, because we were so amped up and energetic. It was amazing.
Who's all right, who's more competitive? You or Kayana? Kayana.
Me, for sure.
Favorite music?
80s.
80s, huh?
Yeah.
What,
like
Tupac,
oldies, yeah.
Tupac, Biggie?
Yeah, like anything oldies. Like I love the Beatles, like NSYNC, or INX, sorry. Anything like that. I just love the old type of music, I guess. I like everything though.
All right, favorite memorable game so far as a lacrosse player?
There actually, this past year, it was this game and we were playing Malloy in Long Island, and it was pouring rain. It was a night game too, so it was freezing cold. I had like 2 pairs of leggings on and my gloves and my headband, and it was like a neck and neck game. Like we kept going back and forth, and we ended up winning 9-8. Literally, like at the end, we were just like holding the ball, like running up. Like it was, again, like that was probably, we were so, I don't know what we were on, but we were just like so amped up the entire time, and it was such a fun game. Oh my god, it was so much fun.
Funniest teammate?
Me, no. Probably my friend Heather Devaney, who I've played with literally since 6th grade. So we actually go to college together as well now. So she's definitely very funny.
Favorite workout?
Oh, that's hard. Oh, I like footwork stuff a lot, like on the field, like footwork into short sprints. I wouldn't say running, because that's like that's a lot, but like just like anything to like quick movement, I guess.
All right, let's see. I'm gonna put you on the spot. 7 curve to curves or 10 burpees?
10 burpees, hands down. Easy.
Which coach at Seths is funnier to you?
Okay, Ashley was pretty funny.
Yeah.
She had her baby now, but she was really funny. I would say he's goofy. Mike's pretty goofy, so Mike's pretty funny.
So when you become coach at Seths fully, are you gonna come up with some hard workouts for us, or what kind of coach are you gonna be for us?
Yeah, I definitely want to do hard workouts, and I want to be I definitely I want to be like a mix of Anthony and Mike, like goofy and also like motivating and pushing, you know what I mean? So that's my
favorite thing to do outside of playing sports?
There's a lot. I love the beach and I love Sudoku puzzles. I'm just gonna narrow it down to those two.
You go to Belmar a lot, the Jersey Shore, Belmar?
Spring Lake.
Oh yeah, Spring Lake.
Yeah, but right next door, yeah.
Do you have a nickname?
My friends, like all my teammates and friends, call me Sab. But my sister actually gave me a nickname when she was young. I don't know where or why, but Beans.
Oh, Bean.
Like, yeah, she just calls me Beans. So Bina, like that's my nickname for my family at least.
All right, so the last two things here before I let you go. Our team is part of this foundation. It's called the Hugh Jackson Foundation. We're trying to help them prevent human trafficking, making sure the community stays safe, the kids stay safe. So we're working on that as we speak every day, 24/7 to get that done because it's so horrible out there what we're seeing with human trafficking. And I'll send you the foundation so you guys can check it out.
Yeah, definitely.
And the last
really
thing,
good.
yeah, it's like right now, it's horrible. It's still horrible.
Yeah, it's very bad.
Yeah. So the last thing here, would you like to say anything to all the nurses, doctors, and all the essential workers right now?
Oh yeah, I mean, like they have done so much, not even just so, like over their entire lives, especially this past year. But our entire world thanks you. Like we would literally not be here if it wasn't for them. And my dad, also being a first responder, as a lineman, like,
Oh wow.
Like thank him all the time. So I'm very, very appreciative of all the work that they do because that's why we're here.
Tell your dad we said thank you for his service too.
Of course, thank you.
Well said, and there it is. That wraps up episode 908. With my beautiful, inspiring friend, hardworking Sabrina Chandler, lacrosse player at Georgian Court University, former tennis player. Now she's a coach at Seths for our gym. And man, Sabrina, this was awesome, an honor. Thank you for joining the show, and thank you for sharing your story to our fans who don't know about you, but now they do. We got to get your story out there more. I feel like a lot of people are missing out on Jackson and on New Jersey talent. Obviously, the talent has grown over the years here, but they're still missing on some talent. And I think your talented, Sabrina. Everything you do, keep up the great work. And obviously, I'll see you in person again. And actually, we would like to have you back on the show so you can meet the full team. But keep up this great work. You're such an inspiration, and you're the definition of women in sports. And keep it up. And you and your family stay safe.
Thank you so much for having me. I had a great time, and I loved all your questions.
Yeah.
I'll see you tomorrow morning.
Oh, tomorrow morning.
Yeah, you better be there.
I will.
Ready to kick some butt.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.